Sorry, let me get
One.
everything going here, guys.
How about a roll call?
Let's make sure Paul's up and running.
We're waiting. He should be.
Yep, looks like it.
Okay.
I hope everything's good.
All right. Roll call. Kathy Mitchell.
I'm here.
Hannah Daniels.
Here.
Randy Neese here. Danny Buendia.
He might be running late.
Okay. Lynn Larson.
Here.
Rick Kirkhab.
Here.
Amy Lentz.
Here.
Sean Murphy. Absent. And Paul Furness.
Okay.
Madam Chair. It's all yours.
So how about, are there any corrections to the minutes that were sent out?
Either June or July.
Right.
I brought them both, so you guys need to flip through them, or if
If-
you've already reviewed them.
If there are no corrections, the minutes will stand approved.
Well, we need to vote on those. So, need to make a motion, and then all in favor. So, looking at the June meeting notes, were there any corrections? None?
See,
Okay.
these rules say you don't have to do that.
Oh, Robert's rules?
But we can do it.
Okay.
I'll take a motion to approve June and July's minutes.
I'll second both.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We'll do for public comment, non-agenda items.
Thanks for joining us again.
Okay, then we'll move on to discussion items, which the first is the cottonwood selection at the Arboretum.
Okay. Concern got raised for our cottonwood selection at the Arboretum. It kind of brought up a broader topic, but concern was raised about, cottonwood trees having their pollen being more aggressive for people with allergies, and we kind of talked about it. I did a little research into the topic, and basically was looking at male versus female trees and all that. I can get into that in a second, but I think the broader topic it brought up was any of these tree varieties that might be particularly inflammatory for people with sensitivities. I know Danny brought it up for like mulberry trees being particularly bad, but anything else, it just brought up the conversation of, people with particular, allergies or just straight up allergic reactions to certain trees. Like we probably need to be mindful, like not for fully removing them, but maybe some adjustments to where we can move them further away, stuff like that. With the whole cottonwood discussion, I got into the looking into it that cottonwoods have both male and female trees. Certain varieties do. And I was like, well, we could definitely pick one or the other. Unfortunately, you can't get the best of both worlds and just have a nice, clean tree. If you get a male tree, you get the pollen, so allergies. And if you get a female tree, you get the cotton. And we kind of talked about it internally, saying that, the Arboretum come cotton season, just covered in cotton. Cotton is a huge fire problem, honestly. It's like gunpowder, really. And so basically we're like, well, I don't know, if we're picking a specific sex of these trees, I would lean more towards the cottonless varieties, which there's a couple out there. The thing I came across, and I was doing a little more research before this, is that the only one that comes in male and female forms on separate trees is Populus deltoides, which is the plains cottonwoods. And the more and more I look, it seems like there might be possibly male and female forms of the lance leaf and the narrowleaf cottonwoods. But, that's one thing to say that there is one. But the next thing would come to nursery availability on if they specifically select for male cultivars and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't think you can get the female.
Yeah, I don't think so
I
either.
don't think they can sell them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it has to be male.
And-
Nurseries.
Interesting. Do you know if, and I was gonna actually kind of talk to you about this, if you know if the angustifolia, the narrow leaf, or the acuminata, do you know if those are monoecious or dioecious? Do they have a male and female separate tree? Because I was finding very conflicting information,
Yeah.
so I couldn't find like a reliable source at least that.
AI says that they are still male and female. They're dioecious
On
on
the
the narrow leaf.
okay. So I
think
guess
it holds for the whole.
okay. Because yeah, talking about it too with the higher ups is like, I mean, if at best we can reduce the amount of cottonwoods on the property, we didn't want to remove them completely,
Yeah.
based on like allergy sensitivity. They're so much of a cornerstone species of the Colorado like native tree selection that it's just like just to take them out because of that would be really unfortunate, especially for an arboretum. So we did want to leave them in there, but on the counts here, we do have quite a bit, and I was like, the best we could do is maybe just reduce them down to like one selection of each,
Yeah.
and maybe hit the best of all worlds. Is still be able to feature them, maybe cut down on, so many trees producing so much pollen or cotton on site, and maybe everybody can kind of win there. And one other thing I brought was just the plans. There's, I think I counted 17 amongst those 5 varieties. I'm not counting the quaking aspens. Those are kind of different. They don't release as much. They don't actually release cotton. I don't think. It's more like they just drop their little cattail looking things.
Mine do.
They release it's not as prolific as
True.
cottonwood, I guess, is
Yeah,
why
well-
I just kind of knocked them out of this conversation.
Yeah, it's only on the catkin itself.
But where they put these varieties of cottonwoods, and they did a good job because we raised the concern about keeping them away from structures and high traffic areas. So this is the property line at Turner. So this is a group of cottonwoods. Right here is a cottonwood, and then if we flip to the other side of the property, there's a kind of a blank area I couldn't quite get through the plans, but the other group is on the north side corner. So they are pretty tucked away. I was kind of looking at this closer to the nursery, and it's like, yeah, if we reduce that, just kind of one of each, thus being like 4 cottonwoods all in all in the arboretum, I'd be okay with that. So I don't know if you guys have any input on it. If like I said, if you know of other trees that are particularly inflammatory in general, I'm fortunate enough to not have to deal with that problem, but it could be something that some people might not be able to enjoy the park quite like others. If
Bring a lot of tissues.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can't see a giant cloud of green coming from the pines
yeah,
a couple times this spring. So
yeah.
I don't think this will be the driver of seasonal allergies, but
Yeah.
certainly we want
Let's keep the forsythia.
Well, one counterpoint I made to the conversation of removing them completely is like there are cottonwoods that border the property. We have cottonwoods
Yeah.
on the north side of the property. Like removing them completely is not going to remove
No.
the pollen problem or the cotton problem from this equation. So, I thought that was kind of a succinct counterpoint to this.
With the cotton comes out. Yeah, the fuzz is awful. Like my parents had the fuzz kind, and it ruined like the summer, because it was so like you would breathe it in, it covered everything, everything looked gross. Like I don't think we can buy those anymore, but if you can, I would avoid those.
Like I said, there was, and the only thing I came up with that seemed reliable was that deltoides. One variety of those 3 has a male and female specific tree, and so but if there's other ones where I don't know if that's some kind of nursery growers association thing.
I've never heard of the males being a problem with the pollen. All the calls I always received in extension were because of the cotton. And
Yeah.
people freak out when they see the cotton.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's an allergen as well. But I don't know if there's much evidence behind the males being an allergen.
Mhm.
So I would say move forward with male trees.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be hard pressed to find one that does produce cottonwood.
Mhm.
I mean, it could be a mistake in there somewhere, but.
Yeah.
I've always heard that they're not, you can't get them that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's one here in, was it Schmidt's, is a Geronimus cottonwood.
Mm-hmm. And
That says it's a male form of the sargent.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so well, we got Deltoides geronimus and then Populus sargentii geronimus. So I think those are hopefully going to be male cultivars. I mean, that's what the cultivar is. It's just like it defines that it's a male form. So, but yeah, I'm going to just make the recommendation to the designer, just kind of overall, like, 17 cottonwoods on site is, a little excessive. So we could probably bump that down just a little bit, just in terms with, having to deal with them, having to maintain them. The ones we already have at Wagner are growing like weeds. It's crazy. They're already, competing with the elms to be the biggest trees on site, and they're winning. So,
Yeah.
yeah. For quick big trees, they're undeniably great.
Yeah.
But
So is box elder.
I haven't seen them grow that fast out here.
Yeah.
Maybe the one we used, the Sensation, maybe it's a
Oh,
slower grower, but yeah,
that's pretty.
I've seen kind of
You
They're-
get box
they-
elder bugs.
yeah,
Yeah.
they take their time out here.
What about replacing some of these with just like broadleaf poplar? Some of the less common, but
Do we
the
have
same
any
species.
tulip trees?
It's weird that there's like one section of deciduous, and then we get down into flowering trees, which I think we have. Yes,
Okay.
a couple. So, I'd love to get a sycamore. I'm not quite a poplar, but close. And we also have London plane trees, which
Right.
I'm coming around to. If you've seen our ones at the dog park, they're hitting their stride. Honestly, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's incredible.
They
So
are fantastic.
I'm coming around to them. But yeah, I don't know if you guys ever got some time and look at this, and maybe somebody happens to mention offhand that I'm extremely allergic to X, Y, or Z. Bring it up, and maybe we can take a closer look at that selection. Because I think it was brought up in the spirit of making sure this park is inclusive and available for everybody. And even I made the point that it's like allergy season is a couple months out of the year to completely forego just a couple tree selections. So I'm fighting for the trees, I guess.
While you're on this page, just to change the subject a little bit, Quercus rubra, the northern red oak.
Mhm.
There's one called Texas red. It's a selection of northern red oak that does better in our soils.
Okay.
Northern red will get chlorosis, but the Texas red typically does not. There's one around the Loveland Library.
So not the northern red. What was it called?
It's called Texas red.
Texas red. I think
It's
I
a
remember
rubra,
Scott.
though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have some-
The red oaks in general just don't typically
Yeah.
do well here, but the
Yeah.
Texas red does.
Even-
It is on the Colorado Tree Coalition's website as a good tree.
Yeah, even these the ones that were touted as good alternatives were the Shumards. We're seeing them get chlorotic already. Like our
It looks like you do have that on here because it's the Buckley I have one. So that Buckley oak, that is the same thing as Texas red.
oh okay.
I did not know that until just now.
We have swamp white on here.
Yeah.
We do. I think
Bicolor.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Those seem to,
Those do
I
pretty
think it's
well.
dependent on seed source on those,
Mm-hmm.
but when they're good, they're not chlorotic, they really,
That's actually the STEP program this year. They're doing swamp white oaks. So I don't know, if they got a different seed selection that they're testing out, but we haven't picked ours up yet. But we got 3 swamp white oaks to test for the STEP program.
oh,
And actually, when I get to the planting plans for this fall, I'll show you where we're planning on putting them.
Okay.
So, but I've also seen swamp whites get extremely chlorotic and
Yeah.
not do well. It's the seed source. So.
Should we ask them to add an extra column for priority, like which should be planted first, which should go in the second round? Wasn't there discussion about
Yeah.
not everything can get planted at one time? So we should try to prioritize those that maybe will fill out the arboretum a little bit better,
Mhm.
and then the others that might be more difficult to grow, they can come in the second or third phase.
I've definitely brought that up to him. Like, we don't need to just plop everything in, especially if it's a borderline tree. Although I think that most of their selection is pretty tailored to the front range here. I think in my notes, I just made a couple selections like Zelkovas, swapping out away from an American elm, stuff like that. The Thujas, I was like, those would need a little more protection.
Yeah.
Was there also a concern about budgeting, though?
We're probably coming up on those talks pretty quickly. The construction plans are getting pretty near 100% completion, and then we'll probably get a final estimate on price, and then we'll probably know, how much the board wants to commit to a project like this. And trees. We've got a forestry department. We can source them and plant them. We don't need, like I said, 800 trees off the bat. I would be more. I'd be more interested in like a good backbone, like a good irrigation system, and like maybe just a good round of seeding as like a good blank palette to start out with, instead of 300 trees that we're trying to figure out what they all need and if they're even planted in the right spot. And
Well, that's my comment about the thought process going on now before you get in a situation where they're pushing you, we need a decision in 3 days, which
Mhm.
ones should we pick? So I just had
Yeah.
hoped that we could
just
kind of
like
focus that towards,
just a priority 1 and 2. Just
Yeah.
keep it super simple.
Like maybe we don't need to buy 67 gamble oaks. Since
Yeah,
you could, throw a stick and hit 3.
Yeah. There's gonna be like a whole hillside covered in
If you're going
those.
to do all of these, you might as well ask them for 2 more forestry positions on the staff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, really.
that's been discussed.
It kind of on that note, I know it's not gonna create like protection for many other trees, but another thing I've been asked is if we have any options for larger trees that we can spade in to the nursery, or not the nursery, the arboretum when it becomes up and running, just to get some larger trees like
trees.
right off the bat. And so I brought that up with my guys to just keep their eyes out for trees that are struggling in the spot they're in, trees that are probably not really going to be there given 10 more years or something. Still good healthy candidates, but like a couple areas I was able to find right off the bat was that the whole north side, that dirt parking lot on the south side of Wagner, is all going to get repaved, and I'm sure all the construction equipment
Oh.
is going to be staged there as this goes on. And we have all the trees around it, and they're already elms and cottonwoods. They're not huge,
But you could move them.
but I could, I think those are great candidates for getting them spaded out. We'll have to move them somewhere to hold them temporarily, and then once the arboretum's all wrapped up, or at least getting ready, we can pull the truck back in there, plop them in place, and at least we've got a tree that's a little bigger than others.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, we're trying to find other ones. I'm seeing if we can take some from Jaskowski's property, west of town. It just thought of as a possibility. And just anything like maybe at a park that's like it's underneath a bunch of other trees, and big thing about spading is you got to make sure it's got enough room to get the spade in, and you're not going to damage anything underneath because those spades are huge. Even a medium-sized spade is pretty big. So we've had great success with moving the 5
Yeah,
out
I
at the
was gonna say,
bike park.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I think we're ready to try it again if we can find a couple good candidates. So
Do they have like insurance or anything, or list like a plan to like minimize damage? Because you can like have them do like a security deposit, or like things like that might like incentivize like not just jamming into other trees around. Like I know that's been a problem in the past, so I'm wondering if we can like pre-plan somehow.
I mean, like insurance in that a lot of trees that a lot of developers put in are warranted,
Yeah.
so that if they die within a year, just everything, all other things are going right, and they die, they'll warranty them. So like
Yeah.
insurance like that, insurance for trees that might be on site. I need to work a little harder on getting stronger like tree protection
Yeah.
clauses inserted into these construction contracts that have like dollar amounts for if the tree protection zone isn't maintained, if damage is incurred to the trunk, stuff like that. That's like it's a dollar amount to your screw up,
Yeah.
not like you guys shouldn't have done that, because we
Yeah.
had that left and right at Town Park, and I just couldn't do anything but just be like, well, please stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like
You require them to pay like $5,000, put it in a fund or whatever, and then if they, damage things, it comes out of that. If not, they get it back in like 3 years, and that could also tie in a warranty. But it's actually like they have to pay for it up front. The arboretum that I had shared with you guys in a previous meeting, they actually have created like processes for the town that they're in to have things like this. And it's builder centered, but I think it would apply here too. So I could share that with you because it's already like drawn up, the language around it.
yeah,
Might
that'd
as
be
well.
great.
Yeah, I was actually adding that to the standards this week.
Yeah.
So
Actually, that might be a segue. We didn't really have a quorum, and I don't think you were here last.
I was here last.
You were here.
last.
Well, yeah, Danny, if you wanna, Danny's works for the town now, so I can let him kind of. Yeah. Do you want to explain what you do here?
Okay. Yeah. So I'm the project engineer for town projects. So like Arboretum is definitely on my list, and a lot of other things. So you hear anything going on around, I've probably got something to do with it.
So yeah, Danny's working in like directly under Public Works, and so yeah, we are now coworkers. So I mean, he'll bring his insight, his background, and help out a way higher level than I am. But yeah, it's nice that he's a tree-centered guy and can speak for the trees as well, and in the back end, like engineering, looking at plans kind of stuff, and so that's awesome. He was on the tree advisory committee a couple weeks before I think the position came up. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and like if anybody has any ethical questions with that, I'm happy to hear anything, and I wouldn't want anybody to be uncomfortable. So
Nope, it's good connection for our committee.
Well, we can't expect a lot of trees on future projects, right?
yeah, I'm not in charge of what they do in that sense. I just would be like, hey, can we have trees, please?
Or like maybe you shouldn't pile that dirt up right around
Yeah,
the base of
definitely
that tree.
can't do that anyway. They cannot be stockpiling on our softscapes.
Yeah, just more eyes on keeping these developers, on top of their stuff. We could definitely use that as a town, like, a lot of stuff goes unnoticed with all this development here in town, and yeah. So yeah, thank you, Danny. So yeah, I forget where I was on before I spun off into that, but
Getting
yeah, I mean,
insurance on trees.
yeah, definitely after Town Park, I realized that we need something like that here in town. Town Park will probably be the one and only situation where that is very crucial to the project. Because, like, I mean, there are trees to be saved in the scope of the Arboretum, but they're like our trees that we planted along Berthoud Parkway there. I mean, we care so much about them because I planted those trees, and my crew has been hand watering them every week for like, 3 years, and they're all doing fantastic. So we've invested a lot in them, and I will fight to keep those going. And their plan does stay there, but in the scope of if a excavator rubs up against one of those compared to if it rubs up against like one of the 40-50-year-old trees at Town Park, it's the costs are much more dire in a older park with mature trees, and just kind of being just a little squeaky wheel to contractors when they do stuff wrong compared to if I actually had teeth to like a clause in a contract, be like, you guys were not supposed to do this, you have done it, here's the dollar amount, and it'll just keep them honest and careful. So and yes, like, do you know what town that's from?
It's from the Morton Arboretum. It's
Oh, yeah.
called a tree bank, so I can send it to both of you guys.
Yeah.
It's helpful,
Yeah,
but
that'd be great.
It's already like drawn up, and they actually have an ordinance
Mhm.
builder tool to protect trees.
Mhm.
That's meant to like share knowledge and resources to communities.
Yeah.
I think it's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fort Collins definitely has one, and then I mean, I wouldn't be surprised Boulder does, and also
At
Denver.
CU we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that an ordinance or maybe just like a clause?
It was in our standard, so
Yeah.
every contract referenced it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that'd be another ordinance we could put in, and that's a growth award.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But yes, that's a good point. Definitely going forward, I think we need something like that if Berthoud is serious about protecting its trees, especially with all these big sites. So, I don't know. Arboretum's still kicking along. Just tiny little things to consider before it gets kicked off. And I'm sure, like I said, documents are kind of finishing up here, and I'm sure there'll be a board meeting. If I hear about that, I can definitely let you guys know if we all want to make an appearance and voice any last opinions. But hopefully it's moving forward, full steam ahead.
Last Tuesday, Sean, he sent out an email about that. I
Mhm.
went to the board meeting,
Oh yeah.
which went till after 11 o'clock, and we were last on the agenda.
Oh my gosh.
But I think it's come down to a kind of a tug of war of funds.
Yeah.
Between Richardson Park, the ball fields, the swimming pool, whether it's going to be there or the one next to the rec center,
Mm-hmm.
and the Arboretum.
Yeah.
So I know there were two public comments that were kind of, those things are more important than the Arboretum.
Yeah.
But, I don't know how much that weighs in or not.
I mean, if it ever came down to them making a decision where to allocate funds, I think the strongest thing we could go forward with is just saying the support we've heard at our events, and the intrigue and the interest with
Been strong.
with 2 years of talking about it, and people are just over the moon when we tell them, and people are already asking to volunteer, and everybody we've talked to, or at least everybody that's interested in our booth,
Yeah.
comes up and is just enamored with the thought of an arboretum. So, but yeah, I know everybody else wants their own park that tailors to
Yeah.
them. So that's the board's decision, I guess.
Apparently they were going to go into a special session or something, a working
Yeah.
committee or something, because they didn't have enough time to address it
Mhm.
Tuesday, so
We'll see.
it'll be a big thing,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's kind of all I have about the Arboretum right now. So yeah, if you guys ever think of something, just let me know.
Want to move on to the fall planting project?
Yeah, sure. So just keeping you guys in the loop on just other exciting things. So yeah, I'm getting my planting plans together. This is kind of my fall planting plan. Just kind of I'm getting together my shopping list basically. Yeah, just a couple sites around town. I know we want to plant everything, but we kind of gotta be realistic. Knowing just about how much my crew can do. Like these are with ball and burlap, and just how the days will run. I'm trying to put together a pretty accomplishable planting list. So our sites are Bike Park, the rec center. I actually have the rec center on here twice because I still want to get some new trees in the Bunyan right away. And then just a couple replacements here and there as they've fallen out. Just replacements I want to address. So, just little losses here and there. But I have some planting maps. So the bike park. Wow, that's a terrible photo. Just kind of the tree selection here. We got honey locust in the parking lot. I was going to go with something kind of smaller in this kids' course area. Those are tree lilacs, 3 of them up there. A Kentucky coffee tree kind of near the starting hub, trying to hopefully achieve some shade for where people like to group up. One of the swamp white oaks right here. That's SWO, swamp white oak. And then over here we got an elm and then 2 choke cherries. So right now, I know we have a huge property up there, but I'm trying to center plantings close to the road that we can water with our water truck because we don't have irrigation out there. So we know it's doable because we've done the end of mountain around the corner to up Berthoud Parkway. Those are all hand watered, and
Yeah,
it
I've
does
seen
add a
those
lot of
too.
time to our watering time. But so just trying to keep it realistic for my crew basically right now. So going into Hillsdale, I got another plan for a swamp white oak there. That's actually where we put last year's river birch step tree. I did not like it over there, so we're gonna try another step tree in the same spot. 2 choke cherries. Want to get some more conifers in going, so we got an Austrian pine. Actually, it doesn't really fit the palette out there, but I really want to plant a bald cypress out at Hillsdale. Not a native, but I think it would love the swampy, wet
It
soil
would,
out there.
yeah.
So maybe inside a fence, kind of carved out area, it might not look so out of place. So I just want to see what one of those do there. A couple pinyon pines and a bristlecone. These are all. I know we've got a lot of open spots here. All these white dots are actually spots where trees have been removed, and we have a lot of planting spots, but they don't have irrigation to them. So that's why it seems so little for the available planting sites. So we're just trying to fill up the spots that actually have running irrigation to them. So
The Shumax down there is already changing.
oh yeah. The weak plants are turning in
Yeah,
for the
well,
year.
the one that's really happy has been flowering for a while, but the other one didn't flower at all. It's already changing.
Yeah, we've already got a buckeye that completely defoliated, did its fall color in a week, and it's already dropped all of its leaves. But it's been known to do that, so I'm not too worried about it. And then lastly, out at Wagner, just a couple spots there. Surprisingly, only one of our trees that we replanted last year in the right-of-way, kind of entering the property there, didn't make it. So we just have one catalpa to replace. We kind of have a crabapple down here that just kind of fell through the cracks and didn't quite make it. So we're just going to replace it, straight replacement. This was originally a sugar maple, like straight sugar maple. Didn't make it, so we're going to replace it with a Caddo sugar maple. Like those. If we can find a constant source of those, I'm gonna keep going with those. Swamp white oak, and then we kind of lost 2 of our lindens at the end of this row of lindens, so we're just gonna pick it up with a couple more lindens over there. So,
There,
um,
excuse me, in the parking lot there,
Mhm.
the north, I was there the other day and I thought I saw on one of the islands there was a tree that was gone.
gone.
Dead. It looked
Like dead.
yeah,
in
I didn't
place?
go up to it and see, but it looked like it was.
We have, and I've been keeping my eye on them, but we have Zelkovas up here in this middle row, and that might have been what you're looking at. Kind of looked like an elm, maybe, but we have Zelkovas, and they've just been declining and declining and declining, and they're not quite dead yet, and that's why I'm not gonna. I don't want to be the guy just pulling out a green tree and trying to explain it to people, so I'm just gonna wait till they're gone before swapping them out.
Looked at
So.
it closer.
Yeah, they're only in this middle stretch,
Yeah, that's
Um,
about where it was. Yeah,
the kind of north side. Then.
off to the east side of maybe the second island down,
Mhm.
right in there. But
Hmm.
yeah, a little bit to the either where the green one is there.
Mhm.
Goes on that side of it.
Huh.
If I get a chance, I'll drive by it and
Yeah, I'll check it out
see if
too.
I can actually identify it.
We did a lot of
struggling.
we did a lot of replacements last year, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. But yeah, also our ginkgos are turning in early, which is I don't know, little unnerving. Hopefully they're still doing okay, but
I was going to ask you do you keep statistics on that? So from when it was planted to begin with, I know you're under a 1-year warranty,
Mhm.
but the loss of trees that you had, a percentage maybe?
for this property or all
for
properties
that
in general.
one project, yeah.
Not a written record. Just because I kind of took over when, Wagner was brand new. I could probably find documents from our first warranty walk, and then just like all of our planting removal documents. I could probably find all that information. Yeah.
Because kind of a rule of thumb, I remember, was usually about 10%. That might be the upper level.
Mhm.
You know, you can account for 10% loss in 1 year through the warranty period.
Mm.
I was just curious, because on a project this size, it'd give you a good kind of representation to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. It was a pretty good amount, but I think it's like 400 trees on this property, and I don't think there were 4 on that first initial warranty walk. It was close. It was a lot, but yeah, I don't think it was that many.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
but then everything after the fact is, yeah, kind of been a little bit of like site conditions. Everything we have dug up still has like the basket on it and stuff like that, and
Oh, boy.
so yeah, we're just seeing it left and right. A lot of times it can be just tied to like, okay, this needs to be watered less, or like this whole strip right here. We were digging those up. We dig a hole just the size to get the basket out, and there was sitting water in the bottom of these holes. So we've started to talk to Parks about reducing the water there, because it's kind of double coverage in this area, so it gets a lot more water than it really needs. So we've worked with them on reducing our watering,
Is that where all those sycamores were?
yeah, those are London Plains.
They're London
Yeah,
blend.
yeah, they finally kicked it. Yeah, this whole strip was London Plains.
Right, I
So,
remember.
yeah, that's a bit.
Was there any thought about the farm on North Berthoud Parkway? What's the name of that subdivision?
Hammond?
Yeah, Hammond Farm.
Mm.
Some of their trees are looking not too good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're-
at the city's expense.
Yeah, we're starting to work on something like that, actually. That's something I've been getting the ball rolling on. But yeah, we're gonna start going after HOAs that are, have very visible dead trees that they're not doing anything about, or just like clear, not even like dead standing trees, but like obvious spots where, you know, a tree should be. And Hammond is probably one of the worst offenders, unfortunately. And it is unfortunate that the town paid for 22 of them, 23 of them. And, you know, just driving around today, a lot of them are, you know, about half of those are not doing well. You know, maybe some of them, I don't know exactly how many got replaced or how many died, but, you know, the other half that are still there are like really iffy. So we're just going to get on it with no, hopefully no effort from the town, just more of a code enforcement, like you
Okay.
need to be replacing these trees. It's part of your contract. It's part of the code. And so we're going to start prodding and see what happens. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Are you planning to plant any more up at the reservoir, or have those been pretty successful?
One of mine was one of those plants on that XL was for the reservoir. We lost an elm just very suddenly this spring, so I was just going to replace it with a choke cherry. But don't really have any plans to add anything else out there. A lot of those trees are on irrigation rings, so anything outside that would be stuff my guys got to run up there and water. So, yeah, got to go where the water is, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so those are my my planting plans. We're waiting for it to like finally start to cool off a little bit. My guys actually went up to the nursery today to pick up a couple trees, so we will be planting some probably tomorrow. But I didn't really want to. We went up there trying to get replacements, but ended up settling on something else. So we'll still plant them just to get them in the ground, and take extra good care of them as it finally starts to cool off. But yeah, we were talking. Hopefully by the end of this month, we're getting everything spooled up for fall planting. So.
Where are you putting the Penstemon, the Husker Red?
Oh, those are at Wagner. So yeah, I'm also doing a lot of perennial replanting. So a lot of those are going out at the Arboretum,
Pretty.
or not the Arboretum, Wagner. The kind of near the pickleball court, they added some more, and just some of just kind of fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
So just kind of areas where like a perennial doesn't take. We're gonna kind of replant some areas, and then I'm also kind of introducing some more. A lot of the perennial selection at Wagner left a lot to be desired. So I'm kind of going off script there and picking a hopefully better variety for the areas.
Catmint is great with that too, and it like blooms. Nepeta catmint.
Yeah.
It blooms like all season. It's great for the bees.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
Easy. It's like a
Yep, we've got some at
party data plan suggestion.
yep.
That burning bush is one you might look for maybe a substitute.
Really?
Yeah, they can just be finicky.
Really?
I haven't had good luck with them.
Okay. That's good to know. I go off of my mom has one, and it's like 6 feet by 6 feet, and it does what it's supposed to do. You know, it stays.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
if
it's-
they're protected, they do pretty well. But if they're not protected, they
It, yeah, it probably is. Those I was planning on putting right here, along this side of the
But
building. So they
That-
would get a little afternoon
stay out of the
relief.
wind in the winter.
Yeah.
Winter
So
sun.
yeah, it's to replace a very xeric plant that was planted alongside of like water loving plants. Like we had this
Oh, boy.
like very xeric plant planted right next to dogwoods, and it's like, what do you want us to do? Like,
Yeah.
so of course the xeric
Plants
plants.
are saying too. isn't it?
Yeah. So I just wanted something a little more that would tolerate a little more moisture soils. So
Oh, okay.
You put your mountain mahogany right next to your dogwood. Beautiful colors.
yeah. That what mahogany's only need like a sip.
Yeah.
Dogwoods is just. Ugh. They
But
need to go.
also great fall colors on the
Yeah. You know, yeah, the big one was we lost some variegated dogwoods, so we're trying to replace those, but I'm also trying to do a splash of something different here and there. So, yeah. But yeah, that's all I got on that. So,
Any other comments on fall planning? So we can do the staff report?
um, Where is it? So not a ton, just kind of what we've been keeping up with. Really, we're spending a lot of this summer getting ready for our fall planting. So finishing off removals here and there. This was a swamp white oak that we lost at Bine.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, it was doing fine 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it really rapidly declined. And
This year, yeah.
yeah, and last year, at the end of last
Oh, was
year,
it?
it was
Okay.
really bad. Didn't have high hopes for it. Came out exactly how I kind of figured it would. Kind of like this was all that was there. So we just went ahead and removed it. One thing I did with this, because it was very sudden, was I actually collected samples and
the
submitted
soil.
them to CSU Plant Diagnostics.
Good.
Which, Amy, do you have to submit the money when you submit the sample, or do they, like, after they've done the test? Do they? Because that's the only thing I.
I do not know.
Okay.
I would call the lab.
Okay.
You said it's in Denver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've changed so much that I don't know what their process is. But
Yeah.
it was taking a long time.
I not that I was expecting immediate feedback, but
I would think
I
they
just
would invoice you.
yeah, something like that. I just hope they don't like, where's the check, and throw it in the
Oh,
garbage.
well, you might just call and just make sure
Yeah.
you got your sample. And,
Yep.
yeah.
Just because that one was, yeah, like, I mean, yeah, I collected all sorts of samples. I did find some interesting boring holes on these, but nothing that was like, okay, that's, they were all on twig ends, and nothing that would indicate like a full tree just dying in 2 years. That was otherwise perfectly healthy.
No.
I have my suspicions, but I just want to make sure it's not like a communicable disease or like some new pest that we need to keep our eyes on, because just with how aggressive it is, or how quickly that died, I'd want to make sure it's not something extremely aggressive.
But
It looked like it didn't really drop leaves, though. It just never leafed out.
Kinda, yeah. It never leafed out this year.
Right, it
Last
didn't.
Did
year,
it drop a bunch of leaves last year all at once?
I don't
I
remember.
think so. Like slowly, yes, all at once, but over the span of a month, kind of, yeah,
It could be.
Did they treat the fields?
Hmm?
Like, is that a field?
maybe.
It's a
Hmm?
field,
Yeah,
Treat that at all?
I mean, probably just a normal weed and feed in the
Okay.
spring.
I was going to say, what maintenance had done something different there?
But the other trees around it didn't do that. That's
Yeah.
what's weird. 'Cause
Uh,
I was thinking, yeah, 'cause
So my only I hope it's not. I hope it's not.
If it is, it's very specific to that tree,
Mhm.
so it wouldn't impact other trees around it unless they were also swamp white oaks.
We do have one other one in the park right
I would
here.
just keep an eye on
Yeah.
More
that. If that one starts to look sick, then you can probably kind of narrow that down a little bit, that it could be that.
Mm-hmm. So this was May 2024. 2023 looking okay. July, that's midsummer. It probably would look a little thicker than that, but then, when I started, it
Yeah.
looked like a perfectly normal oak tree. So my one concern is it might not actually be a biotic factor. Well, in a way it is, but you can see
I was going to say,
this.
they
They
changed
built that,
that.
yeah.
Well, that was my other thought, was that it's root damage,
Yeah.
like
And-
major root damage.
But it's weird that unless they're
Those
very,
other two.
very sensitive to root damage, but like this,
This, that
this
placing.
red bud it just completely got mauled by that project. It's still looking fine, and then also with this pear right here, also, yeah, almost closer. Both of these have had much more root interference from that project than the
Yeah,
oak.
the other one did.
So unless, they're very, very sensitive to root disturbance. That is my most gut feeling what it is. But I just want to make sure.
The leaf scorch that you showed in the leaf pictures, that made me think of root damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, that's my biggest suspicion, but I just want to make sure. But yeah, so we're just getting stump grinding done. We took out a tree on 10th Street. We're just, this is a picture of getting the stumps ground out. Picture of one of the planting holes at Wagner. Or not, I keep saying Wagner. This is at Hillsdale. So we're kind of just prepping. That's what our irrigation rings look like out there. So we've tested and tested to make sure that the those 7 trees I'm planting down there definitely have a designated drip ring that works, and we've confirmed it works. The other ones are hard to say that they actually work, so we're just gonna let those go. And then more clearance pruning. So this was just outside of Town Hall, just over here on the east side, just pruning that up. And then actually I joined the Front Range Urban Forestry Council on a walk through the Regis University. If you guys know anything about Regis, it's basically an arboretum. It is incredible. They have a ton of champion trees, not necessarily like huge trees, just it might be one of 2 in the state that they actually got to survive, and so they've got a very interesting selection. And it was kind of a guided walk by the curator of the arboretum, so it was very interesting hearing her talk about all the trees and meeting up with other Front Range arborists and all that, and hearing the chit chat about it. But this is a picture actually in their nursery, where a lot of their stuff they don't buy from nurseries. They just get it from seed and grow it. And I mean, that's kind of the best indicator of if something is going to do well here, is if it can sprout from a seed. You might have a good chance. So they had some very interesting stuff. It was a really, really cool tour. And I just went because, we possibly have an arboretum right around the corner, and getting some insight on care for unique trees, and what varieties actually surprisingly do well here. I got a long list of stuff that good candidates, if I could ever find one. So that'll be my fun.
Go down at night and fade some of those out.
Seeds off the trees.
Well, they the
There's some
oaks.
trees.
Yeah, they got oaks and acorns. They do hybridize, but if you can get an acorn and get it to sprout, yeah. I did get the lady running this nursery did have some little seedlings that she offered up, and everybody was being all they didn't want one, but I was like, I'll take one. Like, we've got an arboretum, and it was a Chinese chestnut, or a Chinese so we got it out back, and it's this tall, but
They're cute.
yeah,
Not as big as the Americans or the Europeans.
I don't think it's chestnut. It's no, it's a nut. It's only single leaf. So
They have if you get down to Regis, they have a camper down elm. Did you get to go under it?
the pendulous elm.
It's like the size of this room.
Yeah.
And it
Oh.
goes all the way to the ground. And so you can walk inside of it and eat in the trees.
Yeah.
It's
It's super cool. And they have their whole arboretum is online. They'll have a map that you can go.
Plus, don't they have the little plaques there, I think? So
I don't know
you
if
can
they
do
have
all
plaques
this
at
self-
everything, but some things. But they have
It's
a map.
been a while since
There's
I've
a
been
map
down
online.
there. Yeah, it's really a nice place.
It's really
to go.
cool.
yeah. That we went inside that elm, and it just looks like a heap of garbage, like elm from the distance. But what's really unique about it is, like you go inside of it, and it's all perfectly cleared out, and big, huge trunk in the middle. But then like as big as this room, just goes out, and it's this very tranquil canopy you're under. But yeah, from the distance, if you're walking past it, you're just like, they need to clean that up.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of like volunteers over there. Cut those out. So yeah, that one was really cool. But yeah, I just went as a part of I like everything she told us that was looking good. I was writing it down in my book, and I'm like, okay, that's something that can do well here. So it's good to know. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for my staff report. Just keeping up on it. Planting season's right around the corner, and yeah, I guess I brought it up. We do have term expiring in September, so I think we're going to be doing interviews the first and second week next month. if anyone's interested in being on interviews, just let me know. I don't have an exact date yet, but I just know it's going to be one of the first 2 weeks next month. So we do just need one committee member to be on those interviews, and yeah. So if anyone wants to volunteer, Kathy, I think you said you will.
happy to help. I know other people have done them before, and I haven't, so I'm happy to give time. But it's also fine if other people would rather do them.
Yeah.
So
Just because I don't know the date, if you're willing, just in case, like, you know, I throw the date out and Kathy's like, I have dinner plans, you know, and then just having another one would be
Yeah.
great. So
I
I'll
know Rick was on the one when I re-upped, and
Cool.
share the load.
I did have a question. Does anyone know the date of Oktoberfest, and are we going to do a?
I do. Yes, we are doing Oktoberfest. I did.
The 4th, I think.
It's the 4th.
It is? Okay.
Yep, it's a Saturday. I did confirm or I did reserve our spot. The one thing is, it seems like the Master Gardeners are going to sit out on this one.
Oh, really? I was going to ask about that.
I forget
it's not
exactly.
scheduled right now.
Yeah, there was something Allison said. It made sense, and I was just like, okay, that's fine. But yeah, the Master Gardeners might sit out on this one. So I can't. It was a pretty good reason. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Because we talked to a lot of people. I guess it was birthday day the last time.
Yeah, it was something to do with volunteer hours. And,
They've been Saturday.
but
Okay,
yeah,
Don't worry about it then.
getting closer to that date, I can email everybody and let you know what time slots, and we'll do that whole volunteer sign up thing. So
Is
And
there
then-
a chance they could get an updated Arboretum poster that we could use?
yeah, I'll reach out to Wenk and see if they've got like a up to date like conceptual design
Yeah.
and maybe top down plan.
Like even a handout that has like facts or like what we know so far, because we get so many questions on that I think that would be helpful for us for like talking points. But
And that's a good way to talk it up.
Yeah.
Since it seems it's competitive with other projects that are on
yeah,
the
like
table.
frequently asked questions, like
Yeah.
when will this?
Fast facts.
When is this
When will we break
happening?
ground?
Where is this?
Yeah, no, I like that because it is a big draw, but yeah, it'd be cool to have some like fast facts. Like
Yeah.
800 new trees.
Or even
and-
just for us too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think I looked to your texts for most of those.
yeah, it's all good.
Great.
But yeah, and then one more thing just before we leave. I know I've been talking about this, but I finally put it on my flash drive. These are the quotes I got for the calendars. Again, these are like 3 different methods. There's the hand stitched is like, I think kind of maybe like a twine or like an actual stitch binding. Which might raise the price because they're like, I think they're literally hand stitched. I don't know. And then we also have the coil bound one here. And hole for hanging. And again, this was these are all for $250, which is roughly around what we got last year. So prices are pretty reasonable. Randy, I was going through this notebook, so I just sent out if they would do the scans to check in with them, and so we'll see what they have to say about that.
Okay.
But right now, these are the prices we're looking at, and like honestly, pretty doable with current funding. So.
Oh, good.
Paul, would you be getting the letter that? So we had talked about sponsorships, and the Historic Society or another committee has like a letter they send when they're asking for donations. It's like a form letter. It's like pre-approved by the town already. If you can get that, and we want to explore that in the future, I'd be happy to help with that, because it doesn't even have to be tree. Like it could be tree people, like tree services, but it could also just be
Stores in
yeah,
town.
like local local businesses, like people, for lack of better words, targeting families, like things like that.
Mhm.
Because even like the new golf course that's coming in,
Yeah.
there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
Minus
for sure.
I wanted to, excuse me, I wanted to mention the posters, so the review of them.
Mhm.
We're about halfway through.
Okay.
We're kind of trying to get it wrapped up. I think you've got
Yeah,
them
I've
there.
got him here for the next
And I think
person.
Kathy, you're gonna take them next.
I could take them next, yeah.
So
Who
I
gets it
will,
after me? You know?
I'm glad to pick them up and drop them off. Just let me know who wants them, but I would ideally probably by the next meeting have them all done.
And that's another thing I asked in that email to this this printer was like, if we wanted to get these done by like mid-December, like when do you need this order placed? So hopefully they'll give me some feedback on that, on like when we need to, you know, give them everything. So, because Staples seemed pretty on demand, kind of just walk in there, it was like a week, but you know, with a company like this, maybe they need to, you know, schedule it out, line it up, kind of thing. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, we don't submit them in December and they're like, we'll have them due by March. So, yeah. So that's a little update there.
The voting sheets, is it you, Rick?
I was just gonna ask
Okay.
Randy, yeah.
Where are their voting sheets?
Well,
They're in
hopefully-
there.
Yeah,
I've got mine.
okay.
I don't want to influence your vote.
I don't
Yeah.
want it. I don't want it. I don't want your
No, I
influence.
gave
Okay.
Did you guys get a vote on it?
No.
I think the new members should.
It's hard.
Actually,
Might be a crunch,
I
but
think
yeah.
this year's were easier to go through than
Yeah.
last.
There's not
There's
that many.
fewer.
Oh, yeah,
So
a
that
lot
helps a lot.
easier.
I'm just wondering for Lynn and I, are we supposed to come to the September meeting or are we?
Technically, September is your last
the
meeting.
last meeting?
Yep.
Oh, we could do a farewell.
Okay.
Bring a tree.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
something.
I mean, I am sentimental like that. I've always wanted to do something for the outgoing members.
Anything
bring it.
else
Hawthorne
bring up for
seedling
the-
for my backyard.
Yeah.
for the good of the order?
That'd be cool.
What I did, I applied, reapplied for the licensing authority.
Mhm.
And I said no to another, but I said if you need a seventh person because you don't have enough applicants, I would go for a third term under those circumstances. But I think it's time to turn my seat over to somebody else, if you can get enough applicants.
Well, if you guys know of anybody, apparently the applications are up, and it's on kind of when you get to the town government, there'll be something for committees.
Yeah.
And I think at that landing page, there's the applications. So if you guys know of people who might be interested,
Don't we have somebody in the audience who
We
was
do,
interested?
no, no.
Not at all.
So, but yes, thank you guys for all that you've done. Seriously. But yeah,
That's just because we've been here the whole time.
I
you've
know
been
you
here.
guys have been here a long
Been
time.
here
Really?
like
The
ancient
OGs.
on this. Actually, I think we're the two longest
Yeah,
members.
you are.
Are we?
And, then I
And
think
it's only
me
been
and-
4 years.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Next to Danny.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, me and
I'm having
Brandy
a
were
hard
after
time
you
making
guys.
meetings.
It's understandable. That's no problem.
Okay.
Well,
So,
I
you
hope
ready to
your
adjourn?
emails are gonna still be
Absolutely.
usable for your wisdom and advice if we
absolutely.
can.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's and
Seriously,
experience.
and, yeah.
All right, I'll adjourn at 6:35.
Five?